How many years and decades have women, like from foot binding in China to corsetry to all these different things, like how many centuries have women been put into boxes or constrained physically and now even mentally just to look good and to fit into these molds? Welcome to the Evolution of Self. I'm your host, Isabel Palacios, and this is the Taking Back Your Power podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Taking Back Your Power. If you're new here, welcome. Please subscribe and follow this podcast wherever it is that you are tuning in. And I'm sorry for taking a little bit of a break. I have been doing a lot of interviews with a lot of incredible people and getting ready for this next season of this podcast. So all of that is in the works. But there is a topic that I have been really wanting to talk about. I've actually been sitting on this topic for a few weeks now, and that is about trends, especially when it comes to your body, to your face, and plastic surgery and these permanent procedures that we often do to ourselves to alter. So the reason why I was inspired to talk about this is because a few weeks ago, I came across a reel of a plastic surgeon, and I don't follow this plastic surgeon, just came up on my For You page or on my Explore page on Instagram or something like that. And it really caught my attention. So let's listen to it together and I'll give you my thoughts.
So I love this story from New Beauty, although honestly I've been seeing it everywhere in different outlets that smaller, perkier breasts are trending for 2025. This is great, not only because it's great for patients, but because I've been doing this for years. I've believed this for years, which is why I'm such a proponent of not only implant removal and breast lift, but breast reduction. Breast reduction is not only a safe operation, but it really provides lots of benefits for women who are struggling with breasts that are disproportionately large to their frame. If you have any questions about breast reduction surgery or implant removal, just because you want smaller breasts again, please give our office a call.
So I'm not going to be criticizing him at all. I'm just putting his video out there because he was talking about this article that came out on New Beauty. I'm not familiar with newbeauty.com, but if a reputable plastic surgeon is referencing them, they seem to have some kind of pull or they have an influence over the beauty industry, especially around plastic surgery and, these procedures. So it's crazy, guys. When I saw this, I don't know if you guys had the same reaction as me. It was like, wow, we are really making body parts and body shapes and the shapes of our body parts trends nowadays. And I'm not even going to say nowadays because I think this has been a thing for centuries, right? These trends, these beauty looks. The thing is, nowadays, we have so much availability and it is so open and accessible for anyone and everyone to get plastic surgery. It's your body and your face, and you absolutely, I don't have any power over you. I'm not trying to tell you what to do or what not to do, but this is a conversation about where we're headed and what line of thinking got us here, and if it's actually something that is good for us. The thing that makes our time in history so unique is that never before have we had so much access and so much transparency into this world of plastic surgery, to the point where it's like, your big boobs, they are so 2024. They are so 2020. Now what's in are the small boobs, are the flat-chested queens. If you have big boobs, come into our office and we'll get them out for you and we'll give you some small boobs so you'll be on trend, because then you're going to look chuggy or you're going to look out of style or you're going to look this and this and that. And it's crazy because just a few years ago, what was in? The very curvaceous, right? The Meghan Trainor, I'm all about that base, big booty. You can thank the Kardashians for a lot of that, is that they really monetized their body shape and they monetized a certain type of body shape and they commercialized it to the point that everyone was going to get these procedures, and they still are. It's crazy how just to fit into trends, we are willing to go under the knife for it. But the thing is, it's been so normalized, which I'm not going to criticize if it's normal or not. I mean, that's really up to you. For me, I don't necessarily think it's that normal, but we have normalized these procedures to the point where we look at ourselves, we look at our bodies, we look at how we are built, how we were born, our heritage, our lineage, our ancestry has led us to have a certain type of body shape. But because it's not on trend in the country, in the society that we are in, we are willing to go under the knife to change it. And now people are going to say, well, Isabel, I went under the knife and I got this surgery and I feel so much more confident about it. And I'm not here to tell you, oh, good for you or bad for you. Like, that's your life. That's great. I'm happy for you if you feel happier. But we have to question why it is that we feel that we are more confident after doing these procedures and changing something permanently about ourselves. And even more, I think it's just so dystopian almost to see how we are so quick to follow trends, especially with plastic surgery. Because let's face it, y'all, plastic surgery is not the same as your makeup, as your hair, as your clothes, right? These things, you cut them, you dye them, they grow back. Your makeup gets washed off at the end of the day. Your clothes change. Obviously, clothes are going to change with the times. And I think that's awesome that we have different trends and we can look back and be nostalgic about eras of hair, makeup, and clothes. But I really worry, especially as a mom to a little girl, she's 3, but I worry about where this is headed to the point where we can look at a body part and say it's out of trend. So we're going to fix it, make it part of the trend, make it fit into what's currently in style and what's currently trending. And then once that era is over, once that decade is over, once that year is over, what happens? We go back under the knife? Are we just like malleable clay that we can just mold and do all these things to our sacred, beautiful bodies that are healthy and working the way they should? Where is that going to lead us to in the future? The fact that we can actually say this out loud, the trend of 2025 is small, perkier boobs. The fact that that's even a conversation to me is wild. You know, I can try to change people's minds or try to make an impact on how people view these things. But the thing is that it all comes down to an individual level because us as individuals, we make up society. For me, a big thing that I have decided in my life is not to get Botox, not to get filler, and not to go under the knife for plastic surgery unless it's medically necessary, right? If I break my nose and I can't breathe, I'm going to get plastic surgery on it. That's just a part of it. But I think that as women especially, we need to question why we feel like our bodies aren't good enough, why we are so quick to let these societal standards and these fickle trends tell us that our bodies, the way they look, are not good enough. God made you whole and complete. Even if you are flawed or were born with health issues or you were born, nobody was born perfect, right? We all had our little flaws, our little things. Like I remember having my daughter when she was born, you know, she had this spot on her head, like a blonde patch. She still has it, a blonde patch right here in the front of her head. Her nose was kind of like twisted to the side. And I remember people made comments about it. And I was like, no, she's a perfect baby. Like, who cares if her nose is a little twisted to the side? Who cares about these things? And I loved on that baby because I saw how precious and how valuable she was. And she still is. How can I not love those things that are just so unique to her? That she was born with that birthmark or, you know, all these little things and quirks about her. And you are the same. You have your uniqueness. You have your things that make you stand out. And they're yours for a reason. And you might say, well, Isabel, I was bullied for this, or people made me feel bad about this, or maybe it was even your own mother, your parents, your family made you feel bad about something. But that's on them, because beautiful people and confident people and people who feel good about themselves from the inside, which is why I say true beauty comes from the inside, because if you don't feel beautiful or you don't see the beauty within yourself and you don't live your life in a beautiful way, you're not going to see beauty in anything else or in yourself. If you are not feeling beautiful within yourself as a person, as fundamentally as a human being, you are always going to look in the mirror and look at all the things that you have to tweak and fix and change. And especially now that we have girls younger and younger who are becoming aware of the way they look, of the way they're shaped, of all these crazy procedures that a lot of them are, frankly, I mean, we've heard things about the BBL surgeries, how they're the most dangerous surgery you can go through. But seeing how dangerous these procedures can be, they have their own health concerns. Breast implants have black box labels on them, and how breast implant illness is something that, even though breast implants have been used for decades, now it's coming out that they've made women ill. So a lot of these procedures are relatively new, they're trendy, and of course, the beauty industry makes billions off of our insecurities, makes billions off of the things we want to change. And because you want to change something, I'm not going to tell you you're bad or you're unethical or you're this. I'm not judging anyone who does it, but I always want you to question before you get something done that is permanent. It could be reversible, right? Like implants, you can take them out, whatever. But think about these things before you go and do them, and always question why. Because just as a plastic surgeon, we saw our friend Dr. Brenner here, no shade to him. I understand. I respect the profession. I respect what they do. But just like for them, they make money off of your insecurities and telling you big boobs are in, coming at your implants. Same way they're making money off of saying there's a new trend to reduce your breasts. There's a new trend to take out your implants. So come on over. We need some clients. We'll capitalize on whatever we can capitalize on. And like I said, I'm not demonizing anyone. It's just, that's the hustle. You got to respect the hustle. But I know there's a lot of you out there who have unique features. You have these unique quirks about you, these so-called flaws or mistakes or whatever it may be. And who knows, eventually that flaw of yours, like girls with small boobs, you're on trend. Like start flaunting those small boobs. And those of us who have had small boobs all these years, like, no, my boobs or my butt or my body never went out of style. Because body parts are not trends. Body parts are not trends. Body parts are part of our unique beauty. They don't need to go along with trends. They don't need to fit into the next trend. They don't need to fit into a box. They are so much more than that. So this is a call to action to own what makes you unique. Stop hating on your body just because newbeauty.com told you, or plastic surgeons told you, or your favorite influencer that you followed because, oh, they had a similar body to mine, and now they're getting plastic surgery or they're getting in shape. And they completely change their body or they completely change their face. Just because they're doing it doesn't mean you have to do it. And eventually that thing that you call a flaw or that you're insecure about or that people have bullied you on, that aspect of your physical beauty can be on trend someday. And as a woman who likes to take care of her appearance, I love hair, I love makeup, I love all things girly, and it's something that nobody will take away from me. I will never put my confidence solely on my looks. I will never put my self-worth solely on my looks because those things are temporary. But the soul, the spirit is forever. And that's what I focus on. That's my main focus. And I'm not saying this to say I'm better than anyone, but as somebody who would get bullied for my nose or bullied for other things about my body or the way I look, I'm like, no, I'm not going to change those things. Those are me. Those are unique to me. And if by me saying this in a culture where the exact opposite is celebrated, and I'll probably be vilified for that, I'll get plastic surgery if it's medically necessary, but I don't feel it necessary to fit into something or somebody or to look like someone else or to fit into a mold or be somebody I'm not. And yeah, I have a bump on my nose. I have all types of flaws, especially after having a baby. But you know what? I love those things about myself and I honor those things. And my body has changed, my face has changed. But it is such a privilege to get older. It is a privilege to be alive. It was a privilege to carry and birth a child. And it's a privilege to be a woman. Instead of hating on my body and nitpicking my body and being so hung up on my body, I'm going to love on my body for what it does for me and how it's kept me alive and how it's allowed me to experience life day to day, that I have legs to walk, I have arms that work, I have a heart that's beating, I have cells that are working for me, and I can't ask for anything more. I can't be more grateful to God for that. And of course, I always think for my daughter, as she grows up, yes, I want her to take care of herself, but I always want it to be from a place of wellness. Is makeup making you feel better about yourself, or is it making you struggle? Is doing your hair color, whatever, is it a struggle for you? Is it a point of insecurity for you? If it is, let's talk about it. Let's go deep. Don't go straight to trying to change it. Let's face it. And at the end of the day, beauty and wellness are tied together. Beauty and happiness are tied together. And yes, we can have fun with hair and makeup and all these things, but never at the expense of your well-being. Wellness always comes first, especially when it comes to exercise, to diet, and all these things. Not diet culture, but coming from a place of wellness. Are you sleeping well? Are you exercising well? Are you eating well? Are you getting your nutrients? That's where I want it to come from. And I wholeheartedly believe that the more that you focus on self-love and loving yourself for who you are and not what you look like, you're going to see how you start to see your features in a different light. You're going to look at the mirror and be like, you know what? I actually like that part of myself. You know what? I actually like the way I look. You know, I like this part of my body. I like my boobs. I love my butt. I love my legs. I love my feet. I love my hands. You're going to start seeing yourself in a completely different light. And we have to take back the power from these powers that be that are constantly trying to tell us that our bodies, our faces, the way we look is not good enough. And beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Beauty and trends and what's culturally beautiful is going to change from culture to culture. What I look like right now, my makeup may be absolutely repulsive to another culture, right? Or to another person. And that's fine. I'm not here to be pleasing to everyone. That's not what God made me for. I did not come here just to be eye candy or any of that. I came here for so much more. And you did too. We all are here for a bigger purpose. And the more that we allow these trends or we allow social media to get so big in our minds and in our lives that it is fundamentally changing how we see and we perceive ourselves, it's a problem because it's blocking you from your divine beauty, from your divine purpose. Own them. Own your flaws. I know so many women who own the unique quirks about themselves, especially like their physical quirks. And it's like, it's mesmerizing. You look so beautiful because you've embraced your unique beauty. And if you've gotten procedures done, I'm not here to tell you that, oh, now you look bad, or no, I'm not here to say that. I'm not here to judge you. It's never what it's about. But to those of you who haven't done that, always question why you want to do the things that you do. And tear down and dismantle those limiting beliefs or that belief system in your mind that maybe somebody else put inside of you from very young. Dismantle it. Break it down. Ask yourself why it's gotten to this. Whether it's about hair color, skin color, eye color, your nose, your mouth, your lips, your ears, your eyes, all these things. We can have so many insecurities about different things. And it's okay to have insecurities. What's important is not to let them rule over you. And to know that you are more powerful than them. So maybe in 2025, the trend will be owning your uniqueness, honoring who God formed you to be, and shunning maybe those trends that are not for fun, but instead to tell us that there's something fundamentally wrong with a body part or our shapes or our sizes. And I think that if we were to create a generation of women, especially, who own their uniqueness and own what makes them different, I think we would just have a more happy, accepting society. We could really step into our power as women, especially in our feminine energy, because feminine energy is about flow. It's about nurture. It's about love. It's patience. And these trends and these societal expectations only seek to restrain that and make it smaller and put it in a box and label it. And I think that is just limiting the capacity of being the greatest, most beautiful, authentic version of you. And it's good to love how you look. It's good to be confident how you look. My goodness, how many years and decades have women, like from foot binding in China to corsetry to all these different things, like how many centuries have women been put into boxes or constrained physically and now even mentally just to look good and to fit into these molds? Something to think about. I think we have been taught for so long to not love ourselves as we are. Maybe it's time. Have fun being a woman. If being a woman doesn't feel like fun, I think we're doing it wrong. Thank you so much for joining me, my beautiful angels. I appreciate you. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, I'd like to hear your feedback. Hit thumbs up on this video if you're watching on YouTube, or leave a review for this podcast if you enjoy it. Your support really helps this keep moving forward. And if you feel like there's somebody in your life that might need to hear this message, feel free to share it. So thank you so much, my beautiful angels. And always remember this. I always say this at the end of my videos for a reason. No matter who you may be in this life, no matter what you may be going through or what you look like, always remember your true beauty, your true worth, and your true power always come from within. I love you, and I will see you in another episode of Taking Back Your Power.